The greatest power you possess is your ability to choose. Join Lowe's Moore as he reveals how you can begin to maximize that power by exploring yourself on the deepest levels and committing to making lasting and positive changes. Get ready to achieve breakthroughs that will lead to accelerated growth and transformation, because you are now tuned in to The Blueprint.
Why they actions contradict the lamb. I'm fellowshipping when I'm with the fam. That's more relations, that's foreign and foreign.
All right. Looks like I'm back here, but welcome back to the Blueprint Podcast. I don't know what just happened, but again, I'm excited to be back with you this evening. Let me get rolling here. First of all, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who support the Blueprint Podcast each and every week. It's been a little weird because for the last few years, I've been doing the Blueprint Podcast like once a week, mostly on Sunday evenings, unless there's a special event or something. If there's a special event, then I would go, like just recently, it was the Super Bowl, right? So instead of doing the Blueprint Podcast on my normal time, which is a Sunday evening, I would start to do it on Saturday, so I wouldn't interfere with the Super Bowl. And then the NBA All-Star Game was on last week, and so I did a Saturday podcast, a special podcast, NBA All-Star Weekend podcast. So that's been exciting. But over the last month, for the last 25 days, I've been actually doing a podcast every single day, right? Called the 29 Days Love Challenge. And just coming up with ideas and prepping and getting all the things prepared for it. And then the craziest thing is that my wife, who works during the day, could not be with me every day. So we notice on a Saturday or Sunday, my wife is with me. She's the executive producer. If you see any videos, pictures, any of those things, man, she's popping them on, popping them off. And right now she's in Charlotte, North Carolina, handling this. And I'm in New York and she's in Charlotte. And so, man, I've learned, my wife kept saying to me the whole time that I've been doing this podcast, you know what? You're going to have to learn how to fish. Right. The quote that says, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Right. So my wife was like, look, I'm not going to be able to get on every day. I got to work. Right. And so actually, I've been doing the podcast by myself 5 days a week, actually 6 days a week, because of course, you got to include Sunday. But hopefully, to each and every one of you out there, I've done a good job. Hopefully, a commendable job. But I'm really excited about the what I consider is we're about to enter into a love revolution, right? This challenge. They said if you want to master something, it takes 21 days to master. If you want to learn a word, to learn a definition of a word, if you would repetitiously do this every day for 21 days, you would master that word. You would master that definition. So I believe in 29 days, right, that we could change the way we think about the way we see this world, the way we wake up, right? I'd rather see us wake up thinking about love and who I can help and who I can support and show kindness, right, every day, than to wake up every day and think about waking up in a world of fear. Oh, man, someone got shot. Someone died. This war is going on. I don't like this candidate over here. Right. If we could just wake up in the morning thinking about who we could help. I mean, Joyce Myers is in her book, The Love Revolution, says the problem we have today, right, is that people are just selfish. They think all they think about is themselves. Zig Ziglar said, if you could help somebody, if you could help enough people get what they want, ultimately you get what you want. Right. And so join me in this campaign. I'll be in day 26 tomorrow at lunchtime. Is Ractivist. I'm a Ractivist now. random acts of kindness every day. I'm looking for random acts of kindness every day. Somebody I could help every day. So join me tomorrow, 12 o'clock, noon. Pause, take a lunch break, right, and join me, right. And so let me move on. This is the 29 days, first annual 29 days love challenge, and so let me start out with my book of the week. Well, I should have said books of the week. one of my favorite, and in terms, this is also not only is it a month of love, but it's also Black History Month. Although although I celebrate Black history every day, right? But this book is the story of George Washington Carver, and there are many books. George Washington Carver talking about nature, just inventing things, creating things. George Washington Carver is one of my favorites. He even, it's even been said that he used to love nature and used to go out into the garden, and it would be silent. He wanted to be silent so that he could listen to the plants and listen to the flowers and listen to the things that was going on. He thought that there was a communication between him, God, and the plants. And of course, we know what he did with a peanut, right? He created so much stuff from peanut. I just love reading about him, love watching the Discovery Channel about Dr. George Washington Carver. So those are my books of the week. And man, if you don't know anything about history, man, go back and check him out. He's the man for real. And then here's my word of the week, right? Ecosystems, right? I started reading up on there, learning a lot about that, becoming conscious of what's happening in our world today. What's happening, the weather's a little crazy. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but the world is the weather is changing up and down. I don't remember, like when I was a little kid, I don't even remember a whole lot of tornadoes. I don't remember a lot of earthquakes. I don't remember a whole lot of those things. But now, man, we're having all kind of craziness going on. There's something going on in our ecosystem, something going on in our world that is changing the way things are. So yeah, that's my word of the week. I'm learning more about that as I go along. I hope to learn a little bit more about it tonight as well. And so here's my affirmation, right? My affirmation quote moment. And this is my Hill Harper affirmation quote moment, right? It says here, right? Self-control is strength. Calmness is mastery. You have to get to the point where your moods don't shift based on the insignificant actions of someone else. Don't allow others to control the direction of your life, and don't allow your emotions to overpower your intelligence. Right? That's my affirmation quote moment. The Pierce Harper affirmation moment. And then here's my movie. Yeah, I got a music and movie. India RE. I love India RE, man. I don't know if you guys, is there a favorite song you guys have in India RE? I love her, man, because, man, everything with her is just natural, man. It's culture, it's natural, and I just enjoy her music. And then the movie of the week is 2040, right? 2040. And I'm back to my books of the week. So, yeah, let me see here. Let's see. Give me a moment here. So it's 2040. I guess the question in this movie, I haven't watched it yet. I was doing some reading on it. Is that it's actually talking about what the future will hold, what the future will look like. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. And it seems to be a powerful movie. Remember, I was projecting movies to see, like One Love, Bob Marley movie. Before it came out, I was already saying, hey, we need to go see this. And I think this past weekend it was #1 in the box office. So, yeah, so powerful. And then here's my person of the week. And I put a guess who. Do you know who this is? Does anybody know who this person is? Right? It's my person of the week, right? And it's also my Black history. Let me just take another few seconds for you to take a real good look at this lady in the picture, right? Does anybody, put it in the chat, does anybody know who this lady is? Well, if not anyway, here's my Black history moment, right? And it says here, Ruby Bridges, right? And November 14th, 1960, at the age of 6, Ruby Bridges changed history and became the first African-American child to integrate an all-white elementary school in the South, right? Somebody put up Angela Davis, right? It's actually Ruby Bridges. Man, if we go to the next picture, right? My Black history moment, right? There's Ruby Bridges, the little girl, right, that integrated an elementary school. And that's her currently, right? I mean, everybody has seen the picture of the little girl walking down the steps with the guards and police officers all around her, right? Just powerful, man. You know, and that's my Black history moment, my person of the week, Miss Ruby Bridges. And then here, somebody sent me this the other day. This is at the Marvin Public Library, right? Black History Month. That is Rudy Hackett. He's a former basketball player in Mount Vernon. And then Gus Williams, who's a former basketball player, NBA basketball player. And there's Ray Williams, his brother, right? And then there's me right there in that book over there. And I guess they're giving out these as bookmarkers. I'm a bookmarker, y'all. Check this out. I'm a bookmarker. You go to the library, you get a bookmarker, and you get a Lowe's Moore, Gus Williams, Rudy Hackett, Ray Williams bookmarker for Black History Month. That's so cool. I'm excited about that. So let me move on. Got a long way to go. So I want to say happy birthday to my oldest daughter, Michelle Maynard, right? You know, she's on the 22nd, right? She's a principal in the Bronx. Love her. And my great, amazing grandkids too as well. And so I think we got some more birthdays here. Calvin Hines. I want to say happy birthday to you too. There's a lot of people born on February 22nd, right? And that's Calvin. Happy birthday, man, and many, many more. Yeah. And then happy anniversary to the Georges. That's my sister, and that's my brother-in-law. 29 years. That's been there a little while. So happy anniversary. Enjoy it. And then happy birthday to Joya. That's my niece right there. Happy birthday to her as well. And man, a lot of birthdays in this month. Yeah. So real quickly, I think that's it. So let me show you this highlight right now. I'm going to show you this highlight, and I want you to listen carefully to this news, right? From 2050. Check this out.
And I'm here today with Falcon News, and it is currently August 12th, 2020. Into our first segment about anarchy. These days are two sides to people in the U.S. One side, there are raiders destroying people's homes, and some are coming together and building a community. Ever since the president and his family left, people have divided and cultivated into dummies. Some think they want to go look for a place for humanity to live that's a lot better, but a lot of us disagree. I talked to one of the police officers from New York about what he thinks about what's going on, and he said, I don't even know what to do. No, what my job doesn't serve the purpose. And now, to the next segment, domes.
Hi, my name is Zuri Jackson. I'm here to talk about the domes. Technology definitely has changed since 2021. We've been able to create domes that house, farm, and protect. They spread from the diameter of a house to an entire city. We've been able to preserve forests and its inhabitants.
And now with our advancements in technology. We've been looking and talking to different companies about advanced masks and then like using apps to activate automatic masks. Whereas in 2021 and 2020 we were wearing regular masks, we are now wearing gas masks in order to protect and be able to breathe the air.
All right. Okay. Now there's some news from 2050. Man, that's exciting. Just a little bit of news from there, and I think we have some other highlights too. Some quick highlights. What's that? This. Man, let me bring on Dr. Diana Williams. I want to bring her on right now. Dr. Williams, welcome to the Blueprint.
Thank you so much for having me, and good evening.
Yeah. So, talk to me a little bit about your program. Is what you say, ELOC, right?
ELOC,
ELOC,
Environmental Leaders of Color.
Environmental Leaders of Color. Now,
Yeah.
explain exactly what that means.
So I think that we recognize that one of the newest um, error or people getting into a business is in the environment. It's going to be the newest industry or the biggest industry for the rest of this century. We started out with a very agricultural industry back in the days when we were brought to this country unwillingly. And then there was the whole automotive industry. And then there was the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of technology. And we see that battling and the environment, battling and setting it right will be the new industries of of this century and maybe even the next century. And ELOC wanted to be sure that young people, people of color, could participate in this industry. Not as people who got to clean the bathroom or to tote and carry stuff, as in previous industries, but people who sit at the table, be leaders, decision makers, and that this industry could enhance our lives, not just financially, but make this planet more habitable. And so that's how Environmental Leaders of Color was born. Well, that's why the name was chosen as Environmental Leaders of Color.
Right. So that we get an opportunity for other cultures to participate
Yes, absolutely.
in the future of what this world actually looks like.
Absolutely. It's an all hands on board kind of problem, and everyone has to be part of the solution.
Right. And then sometimes people, I like that you are making, particularly African American kids aware
Mm-hmm.
that there are opportunities
Absolutely.
available. So talk a little bit about some of the. I got pops up some things here, and you kind of talk about. It says, what is ELOC? You just kind of explain that, and pop up some of the things on. How did you come up with this? I mean, this you guys are the founder. You guys are the founder here. Dr. Williams and Marvin Church, and then there's the board members, and then there's the advisory board. So talk about how did you come up with it? Why did you come up with it? So yeah, talk a little bit about that.
Well, to be honest with you, there are a number of people who are involved in the creation of Environmental Leaders of Color. And this was right before the pandemic really hit, right?
Hmm.
We're talking about, well, how can we make the environment and clean energy more accessible to communities of color, right? how we can get people in our community to know what it is, how to participate, and how to save the planet and keep a job. And so that was where it started. And then the pandemic hit and things just sort of changed. We never really got to do very much during the pandemic. And I remember in April, I had a conversation with someone that I respect a lot and I think is very wise. And he was telling me about a program he was involved in where he was teaching children about the environment. And it touched me so much. And I said, you know what? Parents in our community have so many different kinds of responsibility. They don't have the time or the wherewithal to sort of learn something new, but their children do. They have the whole summer off, they have time after school, and they'll make great ambassadors. So why don't we start with the children and see how that goes? And I think we hit on something, and we started to teach the children over the summer about climate change and clean energy. And parents were reporting to us that their children came home and they would like go through the house and say, we have to get rid of all this plastic because it's bad for the environment, right? And so we're teaching their parents things about the environment. And so they did exactly what we envisioned that they would do. They would be the ambassadors that teach their family about the environment. And it was spectacular how these children actually incorporated the things we told them to change their families and to change their lives.
Wow. And so when in this organization there are several programs. Talk a little bit about the different programs that you have.
So our first program was the Student Energy and Environmental Program for Teens. It's a 6-week program that we run in the summer. We've been doing it since 2021. We started in Mount Vernon, actually at Mount Vernon Wyckoff and at the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau. We have expanded and we are now in Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, Yonkers, Portchester, Ossining, and Peekskill. And we hope that this summer will include other communities where there are people of color. And I just want to say that, we do not discriminate based on race because we realize there are some communities with Caucasian people that are poor. I mean, they're economically vulnerable, right? And sometimes America forgets that these people exist and they try to categorize everyone who is economically or socially vulnerable of people of color, but there are lots of people who are not people of color who really are economically vulnerable. And so we go into these communities and we teach the children about clean energy and climate change. So our focus is not just about teaching. We want to hear from them and we want them to participate in the program. So we have games, we have discussions. One of the things the students really asked for was they want to know what's going on in the rest of the world, in other countries. They want to know how other countries were addressing climate change and um, the environment. So we teach them about that. So, and we also let them participate in conversations. There was one year we were in a Mount Vernon site and we were teaching something. And the students started talking about flooding, how their grandparents' basements or their family basements, how the basements were flooded, and they were concerned about that. And so we changed that whole class to talk about flooding and the impact of flooding. So we want to listen. We listen to the children, and we also teach them a couple of things.
How many kids are now to date participating in the program?
283.
283.
Yes.
And when you started was how many kids when you started?
When first year, 17 children, 17 or 18 children completed the program.
Wow.
And
Now,
this, sorry,
yeah, now over 200.
over 200 in total, yes.
Oh, wow. That's great. And yeah, we're putting up some scholarships. You got a scholarship winner.
Yes, we actually last year at graduation, um, for our summer program, we offered a scholarship, a $500 scholarship, and the recipient was a student in New Rochelle to help with college costs. So when he's ready to go to college, we will give him that $500. And we hope to
Awesome.
repeat that every year. But the student summer program is not the only program we have. So last summer, well, actually, this earlier this year, we started technology and the environment, which is an advanced computer class in Mount Vernon. So what we find is that technology is going to be everywhere and do everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we want to make sure that our students and our communities have proficiency in computer science. And we know that students who come from more resource school districts have unlimited or seem to have unlimited advanced computer class. But in communities like Mount Vernon, that is not the case. So we were able to get some funding and we started an advanced computer class at SUNY on Saturday mornings. It goes from 9 until 12 and we teach children about advanced computer things. So this year they're doing data mining for this semester, and next semester in the fall we hope to start cybersecurity.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about in terms of the partnerships. I mean, you mentioned the youth bureau, and you also mentioned YCOP. Talk about how important those partnerships were.
Oh, they're vitally important. Um, one of the a couple of the things our partners offer. Well, first of all, they offer us an opportunity to work with their students. And secondly, they offer us a place to have our programs, right? We don't have a site where we don't have the students coming to us. We actually go to the students. So we bring equipment, we bring staff, we bring curricula and everything we need. And we go to the students and we spend an hour and a half with them. So our partners are really partners for life, so to speak, because um, just about every program we started, we have continued working with them. So this year we're going into the with YCOP, we're going into our fourth summer,
Wow.
right? And so they bring us back because we offer the children a unique experience.
Yeah. And yeah, because you know what I find, like my grandkids, right? One thing they love besides, just, goofing off and stuff like that. But one thing I admire about them because they love outside,
Yes.
right? If man, you can't even get them inside. I mean, they don't
Mhm.
care how cold it is. They don't care how hot it is. They want to be outside. They want to be playing in the dirt, the grass. They're intrigued by looking at the leaves and
Yes.
looking at the trees and the flowers. I mean, they just man are explorers. I mean,
Hmm.
and they're excited about it. And so sometimes yeah, we don't think about it. You know how important it is to be outside. How
Yes.
important and what if that's gone? What if you can no longer go outside? I mean, what if the trees are dying? What if situations like that are happening? So yeah, I'm excited about this because my grandkids are so excited about being outside.
Yes.
You know, and I'm worried about climate change. I'm worried about what's happening to our world.
Yes.
So yeah, this is so important in this day and time, and that you have made us aware. And you talk about the different systems, right? But you have made us aware that now, with technology is so incredible. Now we're talking about technology in nature,
Yes.
and that's powerful all by itself. And I when I was at the Boys and Girls Club, one of the things we had was we went to several restoration. I noticed that you had something with the Hudson Valley, or some things going on like that. We had a bunch of kids going out to clean out the rivers and all these different places out there, and how important that was to us. to have our kids go out and do these types of things. So yeah, do me a favor. We got some young people here,
Yes.
right? We got some young people here. We want to bring them on. I'm gonna pop them on one at a time, and and then you introduce them, and then we'll have a little conversation until all three of them get up there.
So I will introduce them. So every year at the end of our summer program, students are required to present a project, and much like a science fair. And this past year, our winners were students from Wyckoff, and they presented about the impact of pouring cooking oil down the drain. And it was a powerful presentation, and they won first prize. And so the project has evolved into something called Don't Strain Your Drain. And I'll let them explain what that is. But I'd like to introduce Janelle Palmer, uh, Helen Chisholm, and Felicity Jefferson.
Awesome. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
So so one by one, I'm gonna start with Felicity. How did you get involved with the program? How did it all start for you? This particular
So
program.
it started back in July when I was working at YCOP um, as a CIT, counselor in training, and we were taking all the counselors in training were taking classes in the morning, and at that time we were working on water and how to use it as energy and make certain machines use using water to make energy. And one of the teams, which was the cooking oil project, won first place, and we've took that's been our most successful project. So we've taken that, and we've just been trying to make our project better. And right now we're campaigning, so we're handing out flyers to people, and we're letting everybody know, like, save your cooking oil and stuff like that, so that we can get things started.
Yeah. So Janelle, how did you start? How did it all start for you?
Same thing with Felicity. A friend at the time had introduced me to White Cop, and I was volunteering with children, and I was recommended for the summer camp. And we were told that we would have to be participating in a CIT program early in the morning. We eventually learned it was called ELOC, Environmental Leaders of Color, and we would have to be there around 7:30 every morning, and we'd spend an hour talking about and doing different projects about water and how to turn it into energy. And then we were told that there was a competition at the end of the program, which is when we moved on to thinking about different projects we could do. And we came onto the project of recycling cooking oil. And we, as a group, as a whole, came together and turned it into a project that can actually be seen as, being realistic and true to our community.
Wow. Next.
Uh,
Come on. How did it start for you?
so I've been going to Y Club since I was maybe 5, along with my brothers. And so after a good bit, I came back after quarantine and I decided to become a CIT. And so upon becoming a CIT, I found out I had to attend the ELOC classes in the morning. And so it was a 6-week course, and we were learning about water and everything, and we we were told that we had a project. Well, we had to present a project at a science fair at the end, and so we came across an idea that was both unique but also stayed on topic of the water, and we brought that to life and we presented it, and it worked out.
I mean, but how did you come up with it? I mean, you all three, you guys came up with the final project of dealing with oil, or particularly cooking oil. All three of you, okay. I mean, how did you come up with it? I wanna know. I'm thinking about, like, okay, what project would I think of? I would never thought about cooking oil, but so just came out of nowhere.
Well, I think that the
I,
students had an opportunity to, speak with their facilitator because we don't have teachers, we have facilitators, and speak to their facilitators, and every team had an opportunity to consider certain topics that were unique. And I think that this topic was something that came about because it was something that was affecting our community. And it was actually a really good idea that they came up with, I have to say.
Well, when it was brought to my attention, of course, Mr. Church
Mhm.
gave me a call and started to talk to me about the project, and it was crazy because I've been looking at what to do with this oil that's in my kitchen. You either put it in a jar, right, and then we had a bunch of jars, and so my son-in-law, we was trying to have a, I don't know, a party, or I don't know what we were trying to do, but he took the cooking oil. I was like, where did all that cooking oil go? And he put it in the freezer, so he froze it. I just happened to look in there one day and it's in the freezer. I'm like, what is all this in the freezer? So when when Mr. Church called me up and said, hey man, we got these young ladies, got this project, got this program, this organization, and they got a campaign going on called, don't strain your drain. And they're trying to promote how do you we get rid of cooking oil. And I had just not too long, about a couple of weeks before that, I had gotten in those little pouches,
Mm.
right? As little pouches, and you pour the oil in it. You fold it, and then you're supposed to put it in this. It's like a little black box, plastic box. You put it in, and then when ready, you throw it in the garbage can. He said, "Oh no, you can't do that." So talk to me, talk to us about the campaign and what we should be doing in regards to, and how dangerous this is, particularly to our drains and to our system. Uh, and don't, you want me to pick
oh,
out somebody?
oh, sorry. Oh, I'll go.
Okay.
The
So
problem.
basically, when you pour
Okay,
cooking
that's
oil down the
Taylor.
drain, it solidifies and it can clog your pipes, and then also like you'll have to spend money to like get them fixed and things like that. And it can cost a lot of money. So it's like what we would like everybody to do is save their cooking oil in a jar or any type of container and save it up so that we can pick it up and take it to the proper site.
Oh, you just gonna pick it up?
Well, or they can. We're trying to figure out where we can have people drop it off at
Okay.
so that we can take it from there and then.
Okay. And so the first thing, so the thing I do is, once I, okay, I got the oil, right? What do I put it in? Uh,
Well, probably preferably a glass
It is
jar.
recommended that
Oh my bad.
Go ahead, Janelle.
it's like oh, I'm sorry. We're looking for like a glass, metal, or carton to put it into and hold on to it until it's announced where you can bring it.
okay.
And not plastic, because hot oil tends to dissolve plastic. So we're
With the
asking
ex-
not to put in plastic.
Oh, so like put it in a glass bottle or something like that?
Yeah, a glass bottle, a metal container, an old milk carton.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so it seems like you guys are going to design or develop a partnership with someone to be able to take this off our hands, or there's a place where we could go and get rid of it.
Yes. So right now we're actually looking for a site for the collection of the oil, and we're working with several partners, and we should have that information available the next week or so. But we're asking Mount Vernon residents to start collecting their oil. And so, what is the problem with cooking oil going down the drain? Well, it is as Felicity mentioned, but there's an additional problem, and that is that when the storm drains, our storm drains get clogged. And, we're relying on our storm drains now more than ever because, as you mentioned, Lowe's, the our climate is becoming unpredictable. We're having rainstorms in areas you never expected, hurricanes in areas you never expected, right? So our storm drains now need to work efficiently. They must be clear so they can take away all this water that accumulates during storms. But whenever oil goes down the drain, it clogs the storm drains and they cannot work efficiently. So by taking not pouring oil down the drain, we're staving the storm drains. But here's another thing that happens. When storm drains are clogged, water pools in basements, there's pools in homes. Now, when that happens and basements get flooded, if that condition is not repaired immediately, if that water is not removed immediately, then there's an opportunity for toxic mold and toxic mildew to grow. And that causes all sorts of illnesses. So this is not just the fact that it's not a financial problem, right? Where now the city has to spend money cleaning the storm drains, or homeowners or property owners have to spend money cleaning their drain. It now becomes a problem with illnesses. And in under-resourced communities, many people don't have the money to really address a wet basement immediately, right?
That's
So
right.
that the incidence of toxic mold and mildew growing in those basements increases. And for people who have family members who have asthma, that can be a real problem. Small children can be a real problem. People who are infirm, it can be a real problem. And even for the healthy, toxic mold and mildew is disastrous.
Well, yeah, definitely. And sometimes people don't even know what it is.
No, they do not. They do not know what it is, and they don't know why they're having symptoms. And the symptoms can be varied, and they don't understand why they're sick.
Wow. And actually, when we moved in, we bought this house in 2000, right? And somebody showed us the house, and when it came to the basement, there were we went down to the basement and said, yeah, somebody was living down here, and it caused for a flood to be down in the basement. So there was like maybe about a foot of water when we came downstairs.
Hmm.
Yeah. So when we end up purchasing the home. So we had to, get rid of that, that water that was down there that came in, and then we had to re-sheetrock, redo the
Okay.
floors, cut out the sheetrock, and because you were talking about the mold,
Hmm.
yeah, and that it could be detrimental to your health.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I get exactly what you're saying, and most people do, right, ladies? You agree? Most people do take their cooking oil and put it. They look around, and then they turn on the water, and they put it in the sink.
Yeah. Well, you know what it
Look
is.
at that.
That's exactly what happens when cooking oil goes down the drain. It looks like Crisco, right?
Yeah, it does look like crystal. Wow, that's
Yeah.
that's crazy. Oh man. Woo-hoo. Yeah, automatically, man. It made me think
Hmm.
when Mr. Church was explaining it to me, because it's crazy. All last summer, I was thinking like, what am I gonna do with this oil,
Hmm. Well,
right? And then you guys here got a solution for me. I appreciate the solution. I
mhm.
appreciate the idea, right? And so how would people what? Because I heard somebody say earlier that the oil is a resource, right? The oil is a resource. So what's resourceful about it? I mean, what else
Um,
can it be used for? Once you gather this oil, what can you use it for? Any ladies, any one of you could answer
Well,
that if you.
over the summer, they had showed us the video in ELOC during one of our classes, and it was a video about how a school or these people had used the oil to send to a company and they used it for energy. And in return, certain bills and costs were being able to get lowered because the money was instead like, it wasn't needed because we had another form of energy in the form of cooking oil.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And I think we had a question up there. Let me see that question again. It said, what type of partnerships and resources might ELOC, ELOC need to sustain and hopefully expand its efforts for students in their communities?
No, that's an easy answer. We're not for profit, right? And one of the things that not-for-profits are, I mean, we are very under financed, right? And so even when we get public grants, like from the county or from the state, only a small portion of that, if any, can be used for staff, for writing grants, for people like me who sort of make sure all the pieces come together, right? So finances is very, very important for us. Um, Marvin and I have been running this for the last 3 years by ourselves. We've put in our own money in it many times because we want the program to be successful. And I haven't been paid for anything for 4 years. That I feel like I'm working 7 days a week, but I'm not complaining because I wouldn't choose to do anything else with my time at this point in my life. I really enjoy working with these young people. They're they're just wonderful, and they have been, very cooperative, and it's been a real good experience. I have to tell you, I have not gone into any of the sessions at any of the locations and not found students who are eager to learn. And one of the things that we do at ELOC in our sessions that's a little different than maybe school, right? Is that we don't call anyone in the room a teacher. We call them facilitators. And we allow a little bit more rambunctiousness than in a classroom because we want the students to feel comfortable participating and sharing their views. I firmly believe that children are capable of more lateral thinking than adults, right? They can think outside the box. And we know that for climate change and some other things, we need outside the box thinking to solve some of these problems. So it's been a blast, but certainly financial resources will help.
Right. And so I don't want to get. I want to answer. I'm going to. It says understanding the cutting edge issues your program is addressing. What institutions or organizations are available to assist ELOC with the education and mentoring of your aspiring ambassadors?
Um, so, you know, that's a little bit more difficult question to answer in terms of institutions and other organizations. Certainly, we look for partnerships with community organizations who have students that are available so that we can expand our sites in different areas. Um, and beyond that, we can partner with organizations who can assist us with resources. There are one or two organizations we've told about the Don't Strain Your Drink campaign that wants to help us with the lobbying aspect of it because we're not a lobbying organization. And for some of the things we want to do, we're going to need elected officials involved. Um, the idea of saving cooking oil in any community in Westchester is going to involve the public sector, right? Um, it's not something that should be done by the private sector. Cooking oil is a valuable resource, and for people who are not in the commercial sector, um, supermarkets and restaurants like McDonald's and Burger King, they have contracts with companies that actually collect their cooking oil, right? And so it is this, and those contracts, can cost a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for restaurants like Stop and Shop and for McDonald's and Burger King, they can afford it. It's the mom and pop restaurant we have in Mount Vernon, takeout restaurants, right? That have the problem. They can't afford an expensive contract to cart the oil. And so we are finding companies that can help them to get their oil, collect their oil at a low cost.
Nice.
And then, so we try to identify those companies.
Right. So at the bottom, I don't want to mess up your name. What's it? Is it Kayla?
Mhm.
Okay, Kayla. So talk, tell everybody where you from, where you go to school at, and in the future, what is that you want to do in the future, right? And if it's not this, will this be a part in terms of the environmental? Will it be still be a part of what your life movement as you move forward? Because sometimes you can go into different careers, but you still have you still understand the power of what you guys are doing now, and you still want it to be a part of your life, a part of your life mission. So tell us about who you are, where you go to school, and what you're thinking about in the future. And if this is a part of it, let us know. If not, you know,
Okay, my
uh-oh. Did we hold on one second. Okay,
oh,
you back. You just disappeared. That was magical.
I live in Bronxville, but I go to school at Yonkers Montessori Academy, and I'm a sophomore there. Um, as of right now, I am looking to do finance in the future, but I would like to have this campaign and to continue with it as with like along with my career. And yeah.
No, but do you see like now that you know this, the whole not just the oil part of it. And so I guess the question was a little vague, saying that you're just going to do the oil thing, but the now that you know about what's going on in the environment and the struggles that we're having and with our environment, ecosystems, all kind, nature, all kind of things like that. Do you see this as something you would continue to do even if it wasn't your main thing? Now it could be end up being your main thing, but do you see this going with you the rest of your life, that you will become aware of what's happening in terms of nature?
Sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
Well, it's like you've become aware of this,
Mhm,
right? So sometimes you become aware of situations like
mhm,
something happens negative in your to someone in your family. I mean, heart disease, cancer, whatever it is, right? So some people, they grow up to become something, right? But still a part of their mission is how do I stop cancer, or how do I, support heart disease. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah.
now that you're aware of ecosystem, nature, all the things that are going on that you are learning, we will continue to be a part of your life as you move forward.
I do hope it's gonna be a part of my life when I'm older. If possible, I would love to donate to some to environmentalism organizations and possibly assist them in whatever things they might need. And if possible, I would love to keep campaigning and possibly bringing this up to a lot of like organizations and maybe those who are in power in the government and try and expand our reach further.
Okay. Yeah, because like I said, sometimes we become aware of something and it becomes a lifelong mission for us. Felicities, what's your thought? Tell everybody who you are. What's your plans in the
Okay.
future, and now that you have this knowledge, what do you see it being a part of your life for as you move forward?
Okay. I'm from Mount Vernon. My name is Felicity, and um, personally, I would probably wanna, in my future, I would probably wanna do psychology because I like to talk to people sometimes. I like to help people, give advice even. So this right now, I think I do see myself continuing to do this throughout my future, and maybe like I can use this to target the audience of other teens and get them to be interested in this as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's nice. What do so you're thinking about one's in finance and the other
Psychology.
psychology. Okay, nice. Janelle, you
Okay.
remember the question?
I'm from yeah, I do. I'm from Mount Vernon, and in the future, I'd probably see myself becoming a writer or going to something like that. I see myself going to something more independent wise, career wise, as an adult, simply because I wish to have the time to to like have the time for myself and like my family, other people. Um, and some of the things I could do would be advocating and going into my community with the extra time. Ever since I started campaigning and participating in after school activities, I felt like it has changed my life in a way that in the future I can't see myself like without it. Like I go through my days and I'm like, okay, like when I tell people about our project, it's not in a way where it's like I'm bragging about it. It's in a way where it's so humbling and it's so like nice to see, and I want other kids and other people my age to experience things like these. So in the future I can definitely see myself continuing with campaigning, stepping up for my community 100%.
Yeah, and this is a question for everybody. Like, since you've been involved in the program, I mean, what have you become more aware of when it comes to the ecosystem, nature, and what's your awareness now? Like if if you see people, you outside walking and you see people throw stuff in a drain, I mean just the sewage drain, or you see people just throwing litter on the ground. Are you more aware of environmental issues? And if so, what have you noticed? What have you become aware of when people? What have some people done that you have become aware of, and you say, "Oh no, that's not good," right? So I'll go back to Janelle again.
In my area, like community in the Bronx, I've noticed a lot of people like, littering, and they don't seem that involved or engaged in what's happening around them. And it's really like weird to see because you could go to another place like Pelham or White Plains, and it's different kinds of people, and the streets are clean. There's not really any littering. People are more like engaged in what's going on. And I have a feeling like in my area, it's that a lot of people aren't not like educated on all these problems and issues. And when they see it in other places, they don't believe it's something they can have for themselves.
Felicity.
Um, I say in Mount Vernon, I do see like a lot of litter and like plastic, garbage bags and stuff all over the floor, and it's like personally me, I do recycle and I always throw my things like in the trash. So it's like it's one thing I noticed like a lot of people don't care about like recycling and just like making sure they throw their stuff in the trash and keep the streets clean.
Yeah, I noticed that. I guess people still recycle. At one time, I thought people they were saying, "Oh, you don't have to worry about recycle; just throw it anywhere." Right? But I do, particularly plastic. I do recycle. Make sure I put them in the blue bag, put them in the garbage can, so forth and so on, every week. And so I'm definitely aware of that. So, Kayla, what have you become aware of since you've been doing this? You on mute right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, I've definitely become like hyper aware of the trash on like highways and just our general streets, and mainly because of my friends, for example, they just carelessly say like, "Oh, if I'm holding something that I've finished with," they say just drop it, and I say like I can't because I just feel weird and icky afterwards, and they just don't understand that feeling, and they just continue to just drop stuff and litter around the place. And for me personally, that's something I can't do, and it's just yeah.
Right. That's awesome, man. And and so you got this campaign going on. Let's talk about the campaign, right? You got this campaign going on. It's been going on since January. This is "Don't Strain Your Drain" campaign since January 27th, and it ends March 23rd. So talk about the campaign. Talk about some of the things that you need for the campaign. Let's talk about like how the campaign is going since January 23rd. How has it been going?
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
So one of so there are a couple of components to this campaign, but the most important, and it's something that the students have learned about the environment, and that is it's going to take a change in our behavior as human beings to really prevent climate change, right? We're going to have to change the way we do things now to change what the outcome is. We can't keep doing the same thing and have the same outcome. So, one of the first things is that we want to educate our community about the dangers of pouring cooking oil down the drain. And two, we want to let them know there's an alternative. Save the cooking oil. And three, here's what you do with the cooking oil, right? So we can't tell people just to save the cooking oil and then tell them that there's nowhere to put it, right? So we are working we've found a partner who is going to allow us to get those cooking oil drums for free and pick up the drums for free. We just need a site where we can put the drum. And that's been the difficulty we're having right now. We think we're going to have it solved next week. But if any of your listeners have any ideas about where we could put the drums until March 23rd, please let us know. Now, this is something the girls are doing until the ladies, sorry, the ladies are doing until March 23rd because they have a deadline for a project they're involved with, so they must give a report. But this is something that should persist in our community because it has so many attributes, right? And we would like, and in the summer, in all the communities that ELOC works in, we're going to start the Don't Strain Your Drain campaign. And we're going to try to get community organizations, all the people in the community who can, our leadership that can make a difference, say, okay, fine, we want to do this perpetually, right? We want there to be a way of saving cooking oil so that we don't have the problems that come about when pouring it down the drain. We want big apartment complexes to get a drum and tell their residents, just like you separate your plastics and your cans from your regular garbage, now you need to pour your cooking oil in this drum and we'll make sure it's taken away, right? We want to do that so that this is a campaign not just for Mount Vernon, but for Westchester County, New York State, and the whole country. We want to really let this go because this is a worthwhile project. And it's such a simple idea, right? And
Yeah.
yet it has so many benefits. So that's where I think I stop and the young ladies can continue.
Okay.
So where
Cool.
are you ladies in terms of where you are in the campaign?
I
Uh,
was, oh,
you can go.
you want to go?
You can continue.
Oh, okay. So right now we're just trying to get the word out there about our campaign and trying to let as much people know as possible and get as much people to start saving their oil. Things like that right now. That's where I'm right now.
Right. Anybody else? I think for me, from what I'm hearing, right, there are two things that stick out for me. Is number one, the dangers of putting your oil down the drain. That's number one, and how it impacts not only what happens in your home, but what happens in your environment as well,
Yes.
right? And the other thing I'm hearing is that oil, that this oil is a resource. So as the campaign move forward, we making you like making people aware of why you shouldn't put it in the drain and the impact that it's going to have on your home and on the environment. And then the other part of it is that saving this oil and is a resource.
Yes, it is.
And so I think when people, if you can identify what those, I mean, specifically what those dangers are and what those resources are, and maybe people look at it different, like, because they just look at cooking oil. It's like, okay, I just cooked this chicken, I just fried this fish, and I got this oil, right? They don't see it. It's almost like you guys heard the books that I was putting up earlier, right? And Dr. George Washington Carver, I mean, he looked at a peanut, right? And which you have peanut butter, right? You got facial oil, soaps. I mean, you have about at least 300 things that you can do. You can do with a peanut, right? And so, to me, that was powerful all by itself. Well, we look at a peanut, we just eat it, right? But you're making us aware. Okay, yeah, I just cooked that. I just cooked that food, which I love to eat, and now it's a resource, so I should save it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I get out of it. And so we have down here, I see Mr. Henry. Our youth are not recognized enough for their insight and consciousness to make our world better. Kudos to Dr. Diane Williams and Marvin Church for having this vision and opportunity. Williams. Awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. He's been a big support of ours from the beginning.
Are the students able to get any type of academic or community service credits for their efforts at the school level?
I don't know how to answer that. That's something I think that each student could ask their schools about. I certainly think that we could speak to the Mount Vernon High School and see if there are any credits for students who want to participate in this. I have less contact with the schools that Daniil goes to and the school Kaylin goes to because they're outside of the district.
Right. But they could ask. I mean,
Yes.
everybody, your schools know the project that you're in, the campaign that you're having.
No.
Yeah, I think it would be important that that you would let your school know, whoever's in charge, principals, administrators, know that you're doing this, and there may be credits in it.
Absolutely.
You
It's
know,
a
it
big
may be
community
something that,
project.
and it may be something that the school will look, and your schools will look at. That, imagine every student in your school going home saying, "Man, don't pour that don't pour that cooking oil in the drain."
Yes.
Right? You're making a very powerful statement, and think about this too, because I got a question for you real quick about. I want to know the top 3 schools you guys would like to attend in regards to college, right? Not the top 10, but top 3 schools that you may be looking at, right? Because what you're doing right now is going to be important, right? When you write that letter, right, for college, and you putting this project inside that letter, and how colleges look at you when they evaluate whether or not they want you to be a part of their school or not. When when you say you care about the environment. So, is it Kayla down there? What's top three schools you like? You colleges you might want to go to?
My top three colleges are NYU, Syracuse, and Binghamton as of right now.
Okay, so you said NYU.
Mhm.
That's down in the city. I was just there not too long ago to see a basketball game. Beautiful school, highly efficient academic school as well. It's cold. New York's cold. Okay. Binghamton, cold. Great school, cold. But I mean, I'm not discouraging you or anything. What's the third? What's the third one?
And Syracuse.
Syracuse, cold. You just want to stay in the Northeast. Just say that. I want to stay in the Northeast. Yeah, yeah. So, no, no. All three very good schools, and yeah, they would appreciate this as a part of your resume, right? As a part of your writing for your to get into school, definitely without a doubt. So, Felicity,
I would say my top three schools are Howard, NYU as well, and my third one, maybe Yale.
where? Yale.
Yale.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Well, you said NYU, Howard. Yeah, it's still cold there, but I mean, this is cool. Historically black college, you know. So my daughter was a coach at Howard University. So yeah, I was down there a few times. Man, I love Howard. But no, all the schools are good. I was recruited. Wasn't recruited by NYU. Nah, recruited by Syracuse, of course. Recruited by Howard. Yeah, all great schools, man. I like all the schools. And who we got over there?
Danielle?
Yeah, your top
Um,
three.
Mine's NYU as well. Stanford, and I've always liked Brown.
Stanford and Brown. Okay, all good schools. Okay, all good schools. I mean, I got no complaints. If you go to any one of them, that's fine with me. They are all the top schools out there. Yeah, and somebody got a couple of questions up there. Put those back up for a second, Mr. Henry. I noticed a notice will be sent to their respective high schools regarding their participation in the community service. They are also tutors with kids in our after school program. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I salute you guys on that. Yeah, that's awesome. And then here, yeah, colleges are interested in extracurricular credits for college applications. Yeah, I would have you written. I mean, you guys are sophomores and freshmen, right? It's never too early to write, right? It's never too early to write a college you're interested in and identify yourself and send a letter about your interest in their particular school. And what they start doing, they start following you. They're always looking for great students. They're always looking for good people, And then when you tell them within the letter, this is who I am, this is the school I go to, and this is the project I'm involved in. They're always powerful things, So, man, I'm looking forward to it. Syracuse University. So, what does any of the kids you go to school with, any of your friends, know that you guys are involved in this project?
Definitely.
Definitely. Okay, I just wanted to know, what did they think when you're talking to them about the project?
They were like very impressed. They were like, they were mainly focused on how like this would get me into colleges and scholarships and everything. But they're fairly impressed with how well we're doing so far.
Oh, okay. No, no. Did anybody join in? Did you get anybody from any of your friends or classmates to join in with the campaign and help you guys hand out flyers and
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
when we were handing out flyers, there was a friend that came with us to help with me and Janelle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, because you campaigning now. You know. I don't know if is there a winner of this.
Yeah, actually, there is. So, right now, part of what the children, the young ladies, sorry, are doing this is because they have been invited to participate in a very prestigious prize by Bedford 2030 called the Green Light Award. And so they're competing with other teams throughout Westchester, and they have a very good chance of winning. So if they get if they win this green light award, it will put them at the top of the board. And this
Wow,
is the first time I think a Mount Vernon team has participated in Bedford's 2030 prize.
wow.
So
Well, so
we're
what do
looking
we have to do to rally up this campaign? What do we need to do?
We
We,
need to get the word out. We need to ask our residents to save their cooking oil. And when we go to the website, it's the ELOC.earth website, and there is a link to the Don't Strain Your Drain campaign, and you can get more information about where to drop off your oil.
oh
But
yeah,
what,
there's some campaign stuff right there.
yes.
Yeah.
So once we find out where the oil can be collected, we're going to let the community know, but we also want to let the community know that we're going to have a party on the 23rd to celebrate the work of the young ladies and the community for participating. And we will let them know more about it. And hopefully, we can come back on your show closer to the end of March and give you some more updates about what we're doing. I think this is tremendous. I think that for young people to be doing this is just awesome. And I'm so very proud of them. I'm proud of all the students who participated with us last year. Um, because they get up early in the mornings to come to these classes. And we know they're asleep.
And you're saying they come in the summertime.
Yeah, in the summertime, early in the morning, and they would rather be doing something else, and they participate, and they had to do a science project at the end of the summer, and they did their project, and they did a beautiful presentation, and they went and they presented to the Westchester County Board of Legislature Housing Committee at the invitation of Honorable Tyree Woodson Samuel. And it was there that they were invited to participate in Bedford 2030. The, the Westchester County legislatures were blown away by them, and we know that people don't always have good things to say about our teenagers, right? But we know who know them that they're capable of incredible things, and these young ladies are very, very capable, and they do a good job. And I keep them on a tight leash, and they get homework, and they have to meet with me every week, and sometimes more than that. And tomorrow they're going to be presented to the Mount Vernon City Council. So that's another,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be another way for them to get the word out about to the community. And we're asking our community to support them. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what village are we going to be, right? And I would like Mount Vernon to be the village that supports these young people when they're doing the right thing. And these young ladies are doing the right thing.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you guys. I mean, man, this is awesome. I'm trying to think. Like, I've had some young people pop on the blueprint, right? But I don't think I've had any young people on as guests. I think I tried to get a couple of people on as guests, but they were well. I did have a young man. He was in college. Man, he created his own video. He created his own video game,
Very good.
and and I remember he's in not Fayetteville, but Charlotte, North Carolina, and he ended up, graduating high school and becoming the class president at his college, and now he started his own company and creating video games. I mean, yeah, so sky's the limit to you guys. I mean, whatever you set your mind to, you could actually do. And the one thing he did when he got there was just get involved with the student, I guess the student councils, student clubs. He just got involved around other people who had ideas, and that's what you guys have done. You've gotten together, through YCOP, through this to ELOC, and it helps you think outside the box. Anybody can sit around and do nothing,
Absolutely.
So man, this is good. So any siblings? You guys got any siblings?
Mm-hmm.
Are they older than you, younger than you,
Older.
older?
Older.
Yeah.
What were they impressed?
Yes.
Yeah.
What did they say?
Um, my siblings were like, "Oh my God, Janelle, this is you."
That's great.
Oh man. Anybody else?
Um, my brothers, they were like very sarcastic and just cheering me on in like a funny way, but they were definitely impressed.
Oh, okay. And what about your parents?
They're very proud.
Very proud. Oh man.
They have reason to be. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. They do have reason to be.
Yep. These young ladies are going to have a fantastic future.
Yeah. I think we got another big thanks to the Blueprint for highlighting these young ambassadors at ELOC and their environmental efforts. So I appreciate that. No, it's my pleasure. When Mr. Church or Marvin came to me, I was like, "What? Let's do it."
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get it going. And I want to thank you guys, man, for coming on. We still got just a little bit more time. Um, if you had now, this is a really good question here. Um, what would you say? And you guys are pretty young, but now you got young people underneath you. What would you say, or to encourage young people that are under you in the middle school and the elementary schools? What would you say to them today about as they move forward, trying to move forward through their education and stuff like that? What advice would you give them?
Um,
Okay, I
I
know. Like,
think. Oh,
we want to go. We can go first. Yeah.
okay. I would say to like have faith in yourself and like don't give up. And you have people that are gonna support you and help you as you grow.
Okay. Anybody else?
Usually, for me, my advice to kids is always like, if you s- if there's a change, if you see a problem, you have to be the change in the community. You have to be the one to try and change it because nobody can read your mind. Nobody's gonna be able to step up like you, who can see it and you recognize it. You have to speak out and just have to get out there.
For me, is to have confidence within yourself, your values, your ideals, and uphold them even when you're like in front of people that might oppose you and everything.
Yeah. Is there any in the near future? Is there any way, or have you guys thought about visiting a middle school or elementary school to tell them about your project? Because sometimes, somebody young in elementary school, middle school, if you tell them about it, and all of a sudden they're at home, right? They're at home and they see their parents cooking or something, and they're about to throw that oil in the in the sink. They're like, "No, don't throw that oil in there." That's what happens. Young people, elementary school, middle school, they bold like that. They're just like, "No, don't throw that oil in there." So do a campaign to the middle schools and to the elementary schools.
Sure. That's a big. That's what reap us a lot of benefits campaigning to children, and you know, many of them we can get on social media because they're probably all in social media.
Oh, well, social media is an awesome campaign. I mean, who's in charge of social media for you?
Her name's Miss Kamoya.
Yeah.
But we do have an Instagram page, and it's our campaign called Don't Strain Your Drain, where we will be updating throughout the entire campaign process.
All right. Well, I'm gonna follow you guys. I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna follow you guys on there, right? And thank you, Lowe's More, for providing our young ladies with an opportunity to promote their campaign and share their voice, empowerment, and powerful, and an investment in our future. Awesome. Got some wonderful comments. Y'all see the comments down there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm expecting that you guys are future leaders,
Absolutely.
right? And I'm expecting you see you guys on the big stage, right? Great leaders in this country.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would say locally. Yeah, you could do it locally too.
They
Right.
are already. They're ready.
You're already doing it locally, but we need some
Absolutely.
to expand,
Oh
need
yes.
to grow.
Yes. This is
Yeah,
a campaign that affects every household and every community all over the world.
yeah, it does. I mean, just no, it was important. It was important for me because I didn't know what to do with my oil. I had to tell you the truth. When he said cooking oil, yeah, people don't know what to do with their cooking oil. I said, I don't know what to do with my cooking oil. I don't know what anybody else is. Hey, when you open up your freezer and there's some cooking oil in it, I'm like, man, somebody got to do something with this cooking oil. Because you know what ends up happening when you have nowhere to go. You end up going outside and pouring it outside.
Yes, and that's
Right.
not good either.
That's not good.
They're not good. It's not good for the plants.
Right? And then, or you're pouring it in your drain.
That's right. It's not good for that either. It's a valuable commodity, and in the commercial sector, it's used as a source of energy.
Wow. Well, ladies, first of all, Dr. Williams, I want to say thank you to you. And I want to say to Mr. Church, to Marvin Church, I want to say thank you for the, for making me aware of your program, and also these wonderful young ladies here. I say thank you for coming on, taking the time out your busy schedule, right? And man, enjoy. 'Cause school tomorrow, right? Vacation's over. School's tomorrow, and we continue with Black History Month. I mean, I got my Muhammad Ali shirt on. I don't know if you can see Muhammad Ali, and I got my I Am a Man from Memphis. You know, from the campaign back then. So thank you guys a lot, and I think you also hang out for a moment as I close out here. Thank you for each and every one of you who joined me tonight. Thank you for your support of the Blueprint Podcast. I love you guys. Look forward to seeing you next week. And remember, I say this each and every week. If you wake up tomorrow, make tomorrow your masterpiece. God bless you, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's More, the Blueprint Podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's More and on Facebook at Lowe's More Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay fully up to date with everything we're up to. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.
What they teaching is a joke. I ain't buying it like I'm broke. Insufficient funds for insignificant.